On a rainy day like this, you can see it with your own eyes, storm drains and urban rivers trickling directly into Mission Bay. If not for Mother Nature's water filter, this part of the bay would be off limits.
So there are stormwater inputs that come right in from the local Pacific Beach community to this marsh, and the water on the outside of the marsh is cleaner as it goes through the bay than on the inside of the marsh.
Even though the battle over marshland started back in 1994, it still hasn't been resolved. The original master plan back then called for nearly 700 acres of marshland to purify the water. Today, it is a much smaller number.
The city knew that we needed wetland restoration in 1994's Mission Bay Park Master Plan. They called for wetland restoration right here in the northeast corner of Mission Bay. We have been working with a coalition of over 85 organizations to give the information to the city and push them along towards prioritizing wetland restoration as the best use of our public park in the coming 100 years, right here in the northeast corner of the bay.
And this corner of the bay is special, the only place with original marshland, the only place with this many protected or endangered species, and it is a gold mine for fishing.
I'm a fly fishing guide and instructor, so I help people get out on the bay, and if they're experienced, we get them out on the bay, get them on to fish.
Tyler Vandesdel is not only concerned about the quality of the water in general, but his business as well. With major events lining up along Mission Bay more and more, he's noticed a change in the ecosystem. He recently wrote an editorial calling for more marshland, and now
there's going to be a lot of people on Mission Bay no matter what moving forward. That goes without saying. So I think we have a responsibility of trying to manage this and trying to help the bay as much as we can to make sure that it stays clean, that it stays healthy, so that we can continue to enjoy it. But there's a lot going on with it, and it's going to be a long process, but we just need to have a voice for it and try to support it and support the animals and the organisms that live out in that area that don't have a voice whatsoever.
While people like Tyler speak for the ecosystem, the people over at Campland on the Bay are getting ready for huge changes. Under the current plan out here, the marshland would eventually expand into the space now occupied by Campland, from 40 acres of marshland to 270 acres.
Campland is working on keeping that same kind of land use and just moving it to another part of the northeast corner of the bay. Totally fantastic. It would be great, and we need low-cost guest accommodation to stay in Mission Bay.
As the largest aquatic playground in America, Mission Bay is always buzzing with something: more people, more activity, more runoff, and more pollution. Without proper planning, this jewel could be in serious danger.
And basically, the way I think of Mission Bay, it's an amazing nursery for a lot of different fish. So baby halibut, baby croaker, I mean, you name it, it's going to be out here. So it's a great nursery for that. Supports a very wide variety of species.